Shancarrig. All the eatables were kept inside the school building, and when the last notes of the last hymn died away, Mr. and Mrs. Kelly withdrew indoors to get them. Father Gunn decided to go and help. Quietly he moved into the school to find a scene of total confusion. Mr. and Mrs. Kelly and young Madeline Ross, who was going to try for the post of junior assistant mistress with them the following term, stood frozen. "What is it?" Father Gunn asked, barely able to speak. "Every single queen cake." Nora Kelly held up what looked from the top a perfectly acceptable tea cake with white icing on it, but underneath the sign of tooth marks showed that the innards had been eaten away. "And the chocolate cake," gasped Madeline Ross. The front of the cake looked delectable, but the back had been propped up with a piece of bark, a third of the cake having been eaten away. "It's the same with the apple tarts." Nora Kelly's tears were now openly flowing down her cheeks. "That foxy Dunn I should have bloody known." Jim Kelly's face was working itself into a terrible anger. "The little bastard said he'd help with the chairs, brought a whole gang in with him." "Stop saying bloody and bastard to Father Gunn," said Nora Kelly. "I think it's called for," said a grim Father Gunn. "It's all ruined," Madeline Ross said. "It's ruined." "Of course it's not ruined," said Father Gunn, coming to his senses. "Get the teapots out, call Mrs. Kennedy to help you, get Connor Ryan from the hotel to start pouring the lemonade, and send Dr. Jims to me as quick as lightning." Madeline was out the door in a flash. The doctor arrived, worried in case someone had been taken ill. "It's your surgical skills we need, doctor. You take one knife, I'll take another, and we'll cut up all these cakes." Triumphantly they arrived out with the plates full of cake selections, since most people might not have felt bold enough to choose such a wide selection. They were pleased rather than distressed to see so much coming their way. Out of the corner of his mouth, Father Gunn kept asking Mr. Kelly, the master, for the names of those likely to have been involved. Smiling as he served people, he repeated as an incantation, "Leo Murphy, Eddie Barton, Neil Hayes, Maura Brennan, Nessa Ryan, and Foxy Bloody Dunn." As the gathering neared its end, Father Gunn assembled the criminals together in the school. "Correct me if I have made an error in identifying any of the most evil people it has ever been my misfortune to meet," he said in a terrible tone. Their faces told him that his information had been correct. "Mr. Kelly is a man with large hands," said Father Gunn. "He has declared his intention of using them to break your necks. However, I told Mr. Kelly that you had all volunteered to wash every dish and plate and cup and glass, that you would pick up every single piece of litter that has fallen around the school." There was silence. "When other bad deeds are hard to remember," Father Gunn went on, "this one will always be to the forefront of the mind. This June day in 1950 will be etched there forever." He could see that Eddie Barton and Maura Brennan's faces were beginning to pucker. He mustn't frighten them to death. "So now," he said, "you will join the guard of honour to wave goodbye with your hypocritical hearts to his grace whose visit you did your best to destroy. Out!" He glared at them. "Out! This minute!" Outside, the bishop's party was about to depart. The bishop was moving from person to person, saying that it did the heart good to get out to see God's beautiful nature from time to time. "What a wonderful tree this is!" He looked up at the copper beech as if to thank it. "And what's all this writing on the trunk?" Father Gunn heard the Kellys' intake of breath. This was the tree where the children always inscribed their initials, complete with hearts and messages saying who was loved by whom, too secular, too racy, too sexual to be admired by a bishop. But no, the bishop seemed by some miracle to be admiring it.